So I'll just try my questions and will gladly give way kapag may iba pa na sa executive session mas mabuting pag-usapan. Ano po yung legal implications ng isang dayuhang bansa diretsyong nagda-damage sa isang Philippine Navy vessel, naninira ng equipment at umaagaw ng mga sandata natin, Madam Chair?
Senator Ontiveros, perhaps we can
Yes, Madam Chair.
discuss these questions together in executive session. In the meantime, if you'll allow me, let's just set down the narration of facts so that it's clear to the public exactly what happened. Okay lang, hold in abeyance muna yung question na yan.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, so one detail that caught my attention, tulad nga ng sinabi ni Jeff Facundo, during the previous incidents last year, the units involved were Coast Guard units. This time, the mention has been made of NAVSOCOM as well as Marines. It was always the Philippine Coast Guard before. Now we are seeing military deployment. Has there been a change in strategy in the RORE missions? We note that there were no Coast Guard vessels at all accompanying these resupply vessels for the first time.
There were. Yes, ma'am. And
there were, hindi lang nabanggit. So what happened? Kasi dalawang reef na, dalawang reef na Navy, dalawang reef na Marine. Nasira yung Marine, tapos yung Navy na tuloy, umakyat sa Sierra Madre, pero yung Coast Guard nakatutok din. It's not like they weren't there.
Nakatutok po.
Okay,
tapos
sige.
meron pa pong ibang mga elemento na hindi po namin pwede discuss ngayon.
There's no need. We just need to be clarified kasi
Coast Guard
maraming
was
nagtatanong.
involved from the planning and in the execution, ma'am.
Pero
Nandun
kasi
sila.
nagulat kami, bakit yung nadali, militar. Dati kasi hindi militar.
Kahit na
diba,
naman
Coast Guard?
noon po, hindi pumapasok sa ayungin yung Coast Guard. Naghahatid lang po.
Hanggang hatiran lang.
Opo.
Pero Navy talaga nakatutok.
Tama
ba? Yung NAVSOCOM talaga.
Yung nung araw po, yung UM1, UM2, naalala nyo po yung mga vessels na yun.
So, there were PCG vessels in the area.
Yes, ma'am.
What was their role since they weren't
Ma'am,
visible?
we can disclose it later because it was a whole tactical plan which we cannot
The
disclose.
other issue is, if they were nearby and they were in the area, bakit nag-intay sina Jeff at yung nasaktan ng 12 oras to rescue a Filipino soldier who was seriously injured?
I think
It sounds like the Coast Guard was very far away. Is that correct? Maybe Coast Guard Labay, nandun ka sa Palawan, CG Gaban. Ang layo naman kung 12 oras nag-iintay itong mga to. Yes po.
Yes, just to make sure that the public is not misled. The Coast Guard was there around 12 nautical miles away from the main engagement area. And as early as around 8 o'clock, we were already preparing to do the rescue. But of course, we have to imagine that the tension was
8
very...
o'clock ng umaga o 8 o'clock ng hapon?
in the morning. Around more or less...
8 a.m. malapit na kayo?
No, we were already
there
preparing
Okay.
to launch our ribs and do the rescue. But we have to be very conscious as well that the situation at the time was very tense. So the
Naabutan ninyo yung mga Chinese Coast Guard?
Yes, there
Nakita
are
ninyo?
may ship-to-ship communications naman po on the ground, Your Honor. So
And what did they communicate?
Actually, the China Coast Guard informed the Philippine Coast Guard that there were Navy personnel injured. So
Anong sabi ninyo?
that we will render rescue operations. So
Madam Chair.
Umangal sila na may Filipino military nagsumbong sa inyo.
The rest, Madam Chair, maybe I can share in executive
Fine.
session, but at this
That's-
point, I just would like to, if I'm be allowed
That you
to...
were in fact there.
Yeah, we
And
were in
you
fact
were-
there. The Coast Guard did everything it can to render aid to the soldiers, and we did.
Kasi maraming nagsasabi, katagal-tagal ng 12 oras.
Yes, the whole process took
kung
more
may
than 12
duguan,
hours
napakatagal
because
nun.
it was a very tense situation and we had to continuously communicate with the other side, employing everything we can.
You
And
had
we
continuous...
succeeded.
Sorry.
We succeeded eventually,
Okay.
but it took a while.
All
But we
right.
did. So we did three things.
Madam Chair,
We
Madam Chair.
extracted.
Let's allow him to finish.
We extracted the personnel, we provided medical aid, and we towed the destroyed boats. All the requirements needed by the military was provided by the Coast Guard at the time. I just would like to disabuse public minds that the Coast Guard was late. We were there, and we did our
Yes,
best.
kasi parang ganun ang lumalabas kasi
No.
nga napakatagal daw.
No.
Naghintay lang kayo na humupa ang tensyon. Ganon?
We did not wait. We even did our part to accelerate the de-escalation of the tension at the time.
What did you do to de-escalate?
We employed our female radio operators, the angels of the sea.
Anong ginawa nila?
And somehow the psychological element played up, and the tension
Ganon?
subsided
Madam
at
Chair?
the time. So
May
malaki po ang
interjection
role
lang.
ng kababaihan, Madam
Teka
Chair.
muna, nauna si Senator
Yes, ma'am.
Tolentino po. Okay, so you did three things. You said you managed to rescue personnel, is that correct? Medical assistance, and lastly, you actually towed the two destroyed boats. So, in fact, it wasn't like the Coast Guard was sleeping on the job, is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair. I'd like the public to be aware of that.
Ma'am,
Yes.
may I
Thank you,
add,
Madam
I
Po.
confirm the assistance and the support of the Coast Guard from the inception of the operation to the end. They performed their roles as they were supposed to do.
Yes, Senator Tolentino, please, on the same topic.
Yeah, on the same topic, Madam Chair, since we are crisscrossing, tiptoeing, and probably threading the thin line between matters of national security and intricate
Yes,
details,
we will be-
perhaps an executive session might
yes,
be...
we have agreed on executive session, and even the Senate President would like to attend, but I think it's a matter of public interest that we lay down at least the narration of facts so that it's clear-cut and non-controversial, and that the public is disabused of so much that's come out in the
It's
media.
the same, Madam Chair. Maybe just request the resource persons present here that you exercise prudence once you detail the narrative that you want to emphasize, because matters of national security again would be crossed. So kayo na po exercise the necessary discretion in narrating what you know.
I think nalilito rin yung tao dahil yung PCG, normally, yung spokesman ninyo, lumalabas with statements. Ito, parang support role kayo. As a matter of fact, hindi kayo nag-statement for a change. Parang ganun eh. Kasi nauuna kayo dati mag-statement. So akala nung tao, wala talaga yung PCG. Is this a PCG or is it an AFP operation? Yes, Senator.
Ma'am, it's an
Secretary.
AFP operation.
AFP operation. And
Yes, ever since, ma'am, it's an AFP, but of course, we need to change
it's an
our...
AFP operation.
Yes.
That's unqualified.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that being
Since before.
Since before.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's never been a PCG. Why was it that parang nauuna magsalita yung PCG dati?
Well, ma'am, because the AFP has a discipline, particularly now, we are perfecting it, of operational security and
Okay.
information management.
So pero first time ngayon na nahuli si...
We have been introducing our new operational security paradigm slowly, in accordance also with our capability upgrades and our force protection and integrity mechanisms. That is why there's been some sort of shift.
So in fact, the shift only occurs in the media repertorial end. Ibig sabihin, it's always been AFP as an operation, and it's only now that the AFP was the first to speak. Yun lang yung pagre-release
Yes,
ng
ma'am.
balita. Pero
Yes.
actually, mulat sa poll, AFP na to.
Yes, ma'am, because the vessel being resupplied is an Philippine Navy vessel.
Nabanggit kasi ni Senator Ontiveros dun sa de-escalation of tensions at nabanggit rin ni Secretary Manalo, isn't it advisable that we stick to the old routine of using civilian units such as the Coast Guard to conduct the RORE and
The Coast Guard, ma'am,
de-escalate?
has never been used to conduct RORES.
So RORE has always been military. You're saying this as far as when?
We can discuss it, ma'am, but it has been since the start. It has been
The start